In Chapter 10, we're going to review what is system. You think that because you understand one, that you must therefore understand two, because one and one make two, but you forget that you must also understand and. What is and here? And is interaction among different units in a system. Environmental systems are a collection of components. So first thing, we have to have our components. They have to interact with each other. It's just not a pair of materials there. They have to have a relationship with each other, interacting with each other. And then they have to achieve some sort of goals. They have some purposes. Okay, so the system is many components working together to achieve a purpose. And I want you to read the open story of the chapter on page 264 and 267 and answer my question on discussion board, why Biosphere 2 failed. So long story short, we humans build this fantastic ecosystem. That's an artificial ecosystem, and we wish it can sustain itself because we humans are so smart. We will make whatever we can make. But unfortunately, this design ecosystem did not succeed. And that mistakes are becoming the learning materials for us to learn about systems. And I want you to figure out that part by yourself, why the system failed. So you can see how complicated the ecosystems are. So energy-wise, Earth is an open system because it continues receiving the energy from sun. And material-wise, Earth is a closed system because all the materials lock, in this biosphere, or you can say hydrosphere, or the atmosphere, and everything keep constant. This is mass conservation law. Nothing is created more and nothing is lost, no matter how you change them. So material-wise, Earth is closed. And I want to use human body to just quickly show you an example how system works, okay? We are a pair. We are not a pair of materials. What are the materials? 25 elements, right? We have 25 elements, and they have to work together to make cells. That's the smallest unit in a living organism. And the cells work together to make organs or larger systems like respiratory system. And all the cells and the organs, they work together to make sure the system running smoothly. And here we can see the muscles and skeletons also participate in this breathing process, right? We take in oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide. We have these fancy, very little instruments in our lungs, and that facilitate this process. So basically, a system is many parts working together to carry out functions. And scientists use models, engineers use stock and flow, and economists and computer scientists also use these very simple diagrams or models, you say. We have a system, okay, it's running. If we break down all the system, we can just say we have a stock, and the inflow increase the stock and outflow decrease the stock. And the stock and the flow diagrams can show you the flow of oxygen in biosphere. Okay, so basically the inflow comes from the producer, the photosynthesis of the plants. So we calculate this part in, and we have another stock, which is carbon dioxide. That's a stock of carbon dioxide is fed by the inflow, which is from the animals, plants, and the soil microbes by their, I would say, breathing process. Okay, and then it will release back to the plants and other photosynthesizers. So this is the outflow. We have this nice and neat model, but something goes wrong. So I will leave the details of the work to you, but here I want to point out the problem is the oxygen goes really low. And the scientists, engineers fail to calculate the completed portion, okay, the soil microbes consumed from this stock. They have this all figured out, but there's something goes wrong here. They underestimate the consumption of the oxygen by the soil microbes, and now this inflow and outflow is out of balance. So oxygen goes low and the carbon dioxide goes up. They also fail to count this part. They fail to count the carbon dioxide can be absorbed by the building material, can get stuck in the system instead of flowing out of the system. This is not the whole answer to my question on discussion board, so I want you to read the open story and read those 2 pages and give me a decent answer on the discussion board. If you decide to go on discussion board, that means you want to study something really thoroughly and make sure you understand. So make sure you understand and give me a decent answer on the discussion board. What is feedback? This is really interesting. Feedback is where a loop in the system responds to and produces changes in levels of stock. Okay, the system bounces back those signals to change the stock. Those signals are called, or responses are called feedback, that either increase or decrease the inflows or outflows of the stock. The example here is the reinforcing feedback, such as albedo effect. Okay, so the sea ice melted, then the surface of the ocean become darker, and there's more heat absorbed, and there's more ice melted. This is a reinforcing loop, okay, reinforcing feedback. And the other feedback is the counterwise. The room is getting cold, so you turn on the heat. It's getting warmer. So it's the opposite direction of change. Can you see that? And if the sea ice melted, there's more sea ice melted. That's reinforcing. And for a cold room getting warmer, that is counteraction. Okay, counteracts the direction of the change. So that's the first part of my lecture.